the how it works, and then we'll just go right into it. So I have to do a shtick before. So here it is. Hey, this is Andrea Benton and Alvaro de Almeida from the Born to Play Futsal TV show, and welcome to the Barn Burner Network on ZingoTV, channel 250. Please remember to download both the Barn Burner and ZingoTV apps from their respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. As you download the app, we would love it if you rated the app and left a comment. Both apps are free. ZingoTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and all smart TVs made from 2016 onwards. Today's episode is brought to you by the Women in Youth Sports Leadership Summit. It's a virtual event happening on January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, 2021. You can learn more at womeninyouthsports.com. So today, Alvaro and I are super stoked. We have two futsal coaches on, and we were actually just before, well, you guys probably saw it. We were talking live about what's going on with Brazil and futsal. So we have Albert Sabate. I think I said that right. Did I say that right?
More or less.
More or less. Perfect. Perfect. And Victor Fortilla. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
perfect.
Right.
All right. So
much better.
Much better, yeah. So today we're going to talk about futsal, and it's going to be an amazing conversation, and I'm super stoked about it. But before we do, I start yes, Alvaro is shaking his head. I start every one of these with a icebreaker. So today's icebreaker is, do you make New Year's resolutions? Because 2021 is coming up. And if you do make New Year's resolutions, what would one be?
Are you starting, Albert? Yes, you should start.
Yeah.
Victor.
Actually, I have never done, I think, New Year's resolutions. I don't know why. I think maybe it's because I don't feel that sure to make them, during the year. So I just don't do them. Not for me. I don't know.
All right,
what about
fair
you,
enough.
Albert?
No, it happened more or less the same, because I was talking with my wife about all this Christmas and the New Year, and it's so strange, so complicated all, because we have a lot of fear about staying with our families, with our fathers and mothers, and our friends, because our social contact are minimized. And here in Spain right now, we are not again in Europe with the third wave.
Oh, okay.
And maybe a strong one. And right now it's so complicated to think about all that. It's just living day by day, trying to reduce all, including futsal. And it's so complicated, Andrea, right now.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, 100%. It totally is. Alvaro.
Well, I think I'm like Victor. I normally don't do resolutions, but this year offline I said something, and I'm gonna say that again. So I want to watch more soccer games next year. That's very simple. Looks like that's what I want to do. This year I couldn't watch, so we were talking about Santos and Grêmio a few minutes ago, and I couldn't watch that game. It's a very important game. So I hope I have more time to watch a little bit more soccer next year. That's a simple one.
Yeah, that's good. And interesting. Okay, so I'm the only one out. I actually do make resolutions, but
yeah, and
yeah,
Alvaro, more futsal. To watch more futsal games.
More futsal games.
Watch because of the timing here.
Yeah.
For example, Corinthians and Magnus just played. I could watch that game.
Yeah.
During the week, I could watch like some Paulista leagues. Brazil have still. I could watch because of the timing, match with my schedule here. But soccer doesn't match with my schedule, so that's the point here.
Yeah, so mine would be I'll just throw in watch more futsal games. That's good. Yeah, that'll be good. Oh, and no, it's actually learn Portuguese. Become fluent in Portuguese. Oof. Oof. Okay, so with that, Let's get right into it. Okay, so Albert, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved in futsal?
Okay, good question, because my profile in futsal is different, maybe because I've been involved or related with futsal the last 23 years. Right now, it's my job. I'm a professional of futsal with my club. Uh, as a player, for example, I started playing football as many kids in the world. And when I was 16, I decided to move to futsal just for my friends, to stay close to my friends. And probably it's the best decision I ever made in my life, because changed my completely life from then to until now, because changed all my friends, my knowledge, all. As a coach, I started when I was 23, I think so, 24 more or less. And now that I'm 29, close to the 40s in 3 weeks. And I've coached many teams. Many teams. I'm talking about age or categories, not just in national leagues, in the second B division here in Spain, the third or territorial or local leagues. Also with kids from 6 years old to juvenile age, that it's more or less here in Spain, between 16 and 19 years old. And finally, as a futsal educator or tutor, I dedicated the last 8 years here in Spain in the license level 1 and 2, also in Argentina, giving the level 2 and more, and conferences, lectures, and much more, because I love, it's my life and I love it so much. And I think it's very important for everybody to love it and to share it. But I think it's very important to share knowledge if you want to promote our sport.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, you've really that's incredible. All right, Victor.
Yeah, I think I will talk a little bit less than Sabas, as I am a little bit younger than him. I am actually 24 now. I've been related with futsal, I think, for 10 years. I have to share with Sabas definitely that I was also a former soccer player, and the decision to move to futsal, it was a life-changing decision, definitely, because now I'm not still professional. I have to do other stuff, but definitely it's my passion. You know, I am 24/7 on futsal, so definitely a life-changing decision. And about coaching, it's been 8 years, I think. I started with 16, and compared to Sabas, of course, there's still a long way to run, but I'm very lucky. I've been able to already live, great experiences. I was in the US. I've been in the US a few times, and the first time was with 18 years old, so pretty young. So a lot of experiences with just 24, which I think is great, but very excited for the future. Keep learning every day and do my bit in the promotion of our game. And as we talked about resolutions before, New Year's resolutions, it's not about resolutions, but to everyday work and keep learning and keep growing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Alvaro.
Let me say something before Alvaro explain. Victor is a young coach, of course, because 24. I love that age. But I would like to say that he's an excellent coach. He's coaching with me in our senior team. And he has a lot of skills, a lot of passion. And at his age, I cannot imagine what will be Victor 10 years more experience, or 15 with my age. I think.
Oh, that's nice words, Albert.
Don't be shy, Victor. You could do it.
That's good. Awesome.
That's good. That's good, guys. So you said something, and correct me if I'm wrong. You said something when you were describing your career in futsal, that you were a soccer player, then you decided to play futsal. My question will be a little bit before that. When you were young, when you say that you were a professional player or you were a soccer player, did you play futsal at some point in your life when you were young, or only soccer? or what sort of soccer, what sort of games did you play when you were growing up? I'm asking this question to all our guests, and there's a pattern in answers. Let's see if your answer matches their answer.
In my case, Alvaro, it's more or less that it happens in Brazil. I started playing futsal in the school with the team of the school, playing the local league, just futsal, not mixing futsal and football. And I remember that I moved to football at the age of 10, I think so, 11, because just a decision of my friends, because there, of course, I could continue playing futsal, but all my friends moved to football. And the futsal in the 19s, it's not the same that right now. Right now, there's a strong competitions, a lot of clubs, an excellent development here. And maybe that's the reason, because I changed to football just for my friends.
But before we go to Victor, when you were at school, what sort of game do you play at school? Soccer?
No, futsal, always.
So even though when you changed to soccer, to play soccer as your sport to practice, you kept playing in your free time at school, you kept playing futsal.
That's it. Because here in all the schools, there's a futsal field. And that's the reason everybody plays futsal in the school.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in my case, I would say it's a little bit different. I played soccer with my friends until 14, since 6, I think, since 6. So that's 8 years more or less, right? But it's true what Albert says, that there's a field, there's a court in every playground. In all the schools, there's a court there, even if it's indoor or outdoor, and of course, in every break, you play there. And that's futsal. Of course, it's not, the rules are maybe not the official ones. Maybe it's 6 players, 7 or 10 players, or the players that want to play on that break. But that's futsal. But as a team, with a club, that stuff. In my case, it's soccer, and then at 14, switch to futsal. In this case, I think that Spain is quite, special, and we are very, I don't know, happy, or it's very good for us, because they are two completely different sports. You play one or you play the other one, and you compete with one and train, and you have your futsal club and that stuff. But I think we will go deeper into that later on. So let's leave that for later.
Yeah, my point in that question is very simple, because in many cases I hear here and there, in Brazil is not different. Oh, futsal helps to create a better player. And my point is a little bit deeper. Yes, helps, period. But we have other sort of games that everybody plays here and there. Like you said, it doesn't matter the rules, it doesn't matter the number of players, where you're playing, in a court, on a turf field, an artificial field, on a grass field. We are playing soccer games, or mini soccer games, or games related to a soccer family. And then because of that, we are the player we are in the future. So that's the point that I'm talking to all the coaches that are coming here, and all the players that are coming here. And that's the pattern. They play soccer, we play futsal, but we play everything. 1v1, 2v1, 2v2, whatever game it is, we play those games. So that's the point here. And I think your answer match everything that I am growing here and gathering as an information here.
Yeah, that's good. So actually, leading into that, what's going on with futsal in Spain and COVID? Are you guys able to play?
Well, I think we are lucky here, because if I don't remember, we just had one lockdown over September. Is that right, Victor? It was in September or in October?
I think it was 1st of October, like the first weeks, maybe.
Yeah, the first weeks in October. After that, all the teams, not just the professional leagues or the national leagues, or also the kids or our academies could train Of course, with some restrictions, but more or less all the clubs has all the teams training. And in our club, for example, in Mataró, we have 4 teams in competing in national leagues, 3 men kids and 1 woman kids, 1 woman, and they're playing the national competitions as we did always, no? And for us, it's more like a strange situation for the families because during the weekend there's no any match because it's not allowed. Also, the friendly match, it's not allowed. It's just allowed to train and nothing more until now. I don't know
Okay.
what happened next month in January after all the Christmas holidays and all this kind of
Yeah,
mess.
exactly. The feeling is uncertainty, right? I don't know
Mm,
if I think that this is the feeling, uncertainty. You don't know what's gonna happen next week. So, but what Seba says, I think we are very lucky because at least the boys can train, and this is very good for them. Even if it's futsal or it's basketball or it's whatever physical activity it is,
Mhm.
doing sport is key for the youth, and much more in these moments that it's very easy for them to sit on the sofa and watch TV shows or play on their phones. It's very important for them to do this physical activity, and sometimes they need this push, to be part of a group to practice it. And that's what I think we are lucky, and also on the social part, right? They socialize not only with their school friends, but also with another group, and I think that's key for them, and we're very lucky for that.
Hey guys, quick question about this because you're saying that you are able to practice, but are you able to scrimmage and play match like and play games, mini games in within your players within your practice? For example, if you want to play like a 1v1, a 2v2, or even a 5-a-side within your players, are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
allow.
oh,
we
wow.
are definitely. Yeah.
Here the rules are a little bit different. Right now,
Mhm.
yes, we can practice. Right now, the season is over because of the winter break. But
Mhm.
our last rule here was we couldn't play any match like in Spain, like you're describing. And I'm not talking about futsal, okay? I'm talking about soccer
Mhm.
because futsal here is another story. It's indoor, so the restrictions would be worse.
Mhm.
So even in soccer, we couldn't play any match, so they stopped the league like 4 weeks ago. And then we were able to play matches within teams within the same club, and then they change again. So you could only practice within your group of players, but you cannot play any. So you couldn't not play any sort of game or mini game. So we couldn't play 5-a-side, 4-a-side, whatever
Yeah.
numbers you have. We couldn't do. So only social distancing practices. That's
Mhm.
the way we finish the season here. So was tough.
Obviously, I think Alvaro that it's the right decision to do because if you want to follow the instructions, wear the mask, do the social distance between two players at least than 1 meter and a half or 2 meters. It's completely stupid to play a game, but not just to play a game, to do some sport that it's a collective one. If you play an individual game, of course you could do it. You could play tennis or whatever. There's no any problem. But our sport, that it's a collective one, it's so complicated. There's no any interaction between the players. It's impossible to train without any interaction. I cannot imagine training like a bubble inside a bubble and playing our sport. I think it's impossible.
No, it was tough. It was tough. We had to be very creative and motivate first the coaches, we as a coach, and then
Mhm.
motivate the kids to keep going. But one thing was, oh, you know what? That's the reality you're living in. So let's enjoy and have fun as best as we can, and let's try to progress as a player and evolve as a player and as a coach because there's nothing we can do. Let's protect ourselves and try to, as Victor
Yeah,
said, try to engage the kids and keep them social, interacting, but
Exactly.
distanced. That's
definitely. Yeah.
that was tough aspect of that. Andrea.
Oh, sure. Well, I was going to ask, I had the standard question down, is futsal a sport or a development tool for football? But I'm pretty sure we all agree on this call that it's this full-on sport. It's not, I mean, in Canada, it's treated as and the US, I would say it's treated as a development tool for football, but I'm pretty sure we all agree it's a sport in its own right.
I think it's an excellent discussion topic for any meeting about futsal or football or soccer, because I had a lot of discussions about that with also coaches from Spain. But it is strange because in some countries that there is this discussion is like, come on, man, you cannot say that. No, it's impossible. It's like I like to say that this compare futsal and football is like if we are comparing paddle and tennis or American football and as a development tool for rugby. If you say that to this kind of sports, it's like, oh, you are crazy, you know. But futsal as a sport, a development tool, I think that we have different rules, different spaces, also different physical conditions. If you want to prepare as a physical trainer, a football team or a soccer team is completely different than futsal. And of course that we have the same objective, that it's a score a goal. But paddle and tennis, for example, or American football and rugby has the same goal or objective at the end, that it's a score a goal or a point. And I think it's a good question, but the answer is very clear. It's a unique sport, and if you want to do it as a development tool for football, for my point of view, you can do it using just football. You don't need an indoor and a futsal coach. Just if you want to work a reduced space task, prepare it for football in your field and with 4, 6, or 7 players. But comparing with futsal, I think it's don't know how to say it, because for me it's strange to compare two sports.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear for us because here in Spain, we have our professional leagues. Also in Brazil, in Portugal, of course, it's a less developed sport or less popular sport than soccer. And as for example, rugby and football, maybe it's different on the countries. So in the US, the NFL, is super popular, and rugby you have Europe more developed, right? But soccer is super popular or more popular all around the world, and then futsal is like the young brother, some kind. But as here in Spain, we have our own professional leagues with players that live from that and only play futsal and only have played futsal for most of their lives, and you have big audiences and full, pavilions with thousands of people. There's no question that this in our case, in our point of view, it's definitely a sport, and there's no anything else to add.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Just to give a 2 cents about Brazil in this conversation. I agree with what they said. Is a sport, period. But the way we are producing players in Brazil, I don't know if it's the same in Spain. The players, they normally play the 2 sports at the same time in a high level. So, for example, let's say Corinthians that just played the Brazilian final league. They have the adult team for both sports, soccer and futsal. And then they have the youth program go all the way to up. It starts in U11 in soccer. And it starts in U7 in Corinthians for futsal. So the players, they are playing both at some time, and then they have at certain age, they need to decide either play soccer or keep playing futsal. So that's the way we build players there. So it's what I'm saying here is, again, we cannot separate futsal from any soccer players formation in Brazil. Because normally either they play at a high level or they play, as we described here at the beginning, or they play at school, or they play with their friends, or they play on their free time. So it's very hard to break that and separate that, in my humble opinion, in Brazil. In Spain, I'm learning a little bit more with all our guests that are coming here. And I think it's not that different the way most of the coaches are describing here. Andrea, can I pivot a little bit?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Oh yeah. Before pivot, guys, could you describe how the youth competition works in Spain? Because you're talking about the competitions and adults, but and how does this work for youth in Spain?
Whoa, it's a big competition, because probably the competition has different territorial federations, because here in Spain it's like in Brazil states. Well, here we have communities or regions, and every region has their own federation, football federation, that is controlling futsal, of course. And from the age of 6, that I think it's the we call it here the pre-Benjamin age group, from the age to 18, 19, that it's a juvenile. We have competition for each age group of players, and this is the pre-Benjamin, Benjamin, Alevin, Infantile, Cadet, and Juvenile. And an example, it's easy. For example, in the juvenile competition here in Catalonia, where we live, I think there is the top, because the structure is like a pyramid. We have the best or the top league, that we call it the national league, that it's the juvenile national division, that play the 15 best. Well, right now it's the composition, it changed because of the COVID. There's more groups and more teams, but it's more or less 15, 16 teams. And after that, there is the first division, the second division, the third division, and I think there's another one that it's the top division of local. Imagine that we have here in Catalonia 6 division in juvenile, more or less. 5 or 6, no, Victor?
Yeah, there's 5, but there's a lot of groups on there. So it's the pyramid thing, right? On the third division, there's maybe, I don't know, 20 groups of 16 to 18 teams, and this is only in Catalonia. Then second division, maybe it's 10 groups, but it's also 16 to 18 teams on 10 more groups. Then you have first division, which is 6 groups, but another 14 or 16 teams per group. Then you have honor division, which is the top Catalan division. That's only 16 teams, top Catalan teams. Then you move to national, which is like, yeah.
Sorry, guys. All this structure that you guys are describing is organized by the federation, the local federation.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. The soccer federation.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then it doesn't matter that the division, all of them are organized by the federation.
That's it.
Okay. And then do you have promotion and relegation?
Yes, that's it. In all the ages.
All the ages.
All.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's regular, it's regular season.
There is a strong women competition also.
That's another question. There's boys and girls.
Yeah. The girls, for example, in our club in Mataró, that we have 20. I think this year with the COVID, we less 14, but we have more or less 32 teams, and we have 320 boys and 80 girls, and we have 80 girls in the club, structured in the same that the boys. We have the age of Alevin, the age of Infantile, the age of Cadet, and the age of Juvenile, and of course the top age that we call here senior, that it's from the 18s, and the structure is the same.
Okay, and can you, if as a club, if I have a small club and I don't have, for example, Alevins, can I play with the other age groups?
Yeah, there's no any problem.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not mandatory to have all the age groups. That's different from Brazil.
Really?
Yeah, there, if you want to play the high level, because the federation down there, we have the soccer federation and the futsal federation within the state. They're trying to merge right now, but it's another conversation. But we have 2 separated federations right now. the Futsal Federation, if you want to play the, what we say, youth program, normally you have to bring either U7, 8, and 9. Oh, sorry, 9, 8, 9, and 10, the three. If you don't have one, you have to have one of the three ones. You are pushed, you're forced to build the three. And then you have, if you want to play 12, 14, 16, 18, you need the 4. So every year changed a little bit, but that was the last one when I was working there. That was the organization. So this is for boys. Girls is different. We have less, much less.
It's interesting to add that all this big structure happens here in Catalonia, but not in all the regions in Spain. Okay, for example, in Andalusia or Madrid or Valencia, Murcia, there's the same structure here, but there's less clubs and teams compared with Catalonia. Catalonia is one of the big structures in Spain, and probably the big one. Because,
but the organization, the competition organization belongs to the local federation, either in Catalonia or in other districts or other regions.
Yeah,
the local federation organize everything. Maybe they have less or more clubs, but the structure is the same across the country.
Right? Yes, it's the Catalan Football Federation, the fcf.cat. There's the website, and there is all the sports, not just futsal. There's the football, football in the beach, or I don't know how it's it.
Beach soccer.
Beach soccer, exactly. And there's a big structure controlled by the federation, and also with the Spanish national federation, that is the RFEF, that controls the national leagues.
Your team, your club, the club that you are working in right now, do you have an adult team?
Yeah, we do have an adult team. Actually, it's the one that we are coaching.
Okay. So normally, which division do you play? Do you guys play? Where are you playing now?
This year, these last years, we've been in the second B division, which is the third division. There's the first division, which is Barça. There's then the second division, second B division, third division. These top 4 divisions are the ones controlled by the national federation. So they are national leagues. You play either on your region, but you can also go out to other regions to play. And in this case, we're in second B, which is, I would say, is pretty good. It's semi-professional, I'd say. You know, there's not professional players, but there's already, you know, money going around, and the level is I'd say, is high.
And how is the expectation? For example, your players, do they have expectations to go to a bigger league or a bigger club to play first division? How does it work? Tell us a success story. Any player that you work with and then became that guy.
There's no any sale transaction or nothing like that. Because there's no money. Our club is a big example because we have a lot of kids that move from our club to Barcelona, to Football Club Barcelona, playing not just in the academies, also in the B team. And we have there right now 5 players in the B team from our club. Of course, for us, it's complicated to try to compete a division or fight to move from the second B to the second division when there's a big club like Barcelona that can attract all the talent that you have. But it's like for us, it's a normal process because it happens in everywhere. Always there's a big club over you, and we are doing the same with our local clubs over our club. We are looking talent and we attract it to our club, and of course Barça is attracting our talent. Okay, it's a rule of life.
I'm gonna ask you maybe a trick question, guys. Is there any rules or regulations that doesn't allow you to invite players or hold players for a period of time at your club, and then you don't let him go up, or he or she goes up, she goes to another club?
There's not a right rules. Well, there's one that if you have a license with one club, you can play with another one, and it's a protection for the club. You need to give you a proof if you want that one of your players moves to
Another club.
Not just for competing, just for one training session.
So Sabas, sorry, I didn't want to put you in that spot. Okay, sorry, relax, take a deep breath. I didn't want to do that. We have those in Brazil. We have a very strict, I'm asking because we have a restricted, very, very hard rules here in Canada when it comes to players move from one club to the other. We have zones that the players belong to and they need to play there as a first option. And then if they don't find any spot there, yes, they can go somewhere else. But if they are playing, so there is a restriction and they are very keen and picky on that. So I'm just trying to understand how is this working in Catalonia and in Spain, and then compare.
There's no restriction really, because if one of our players asks me to, hey, I want to go to Barcelona, of course I can say no. And if you want, open a negotiation, no? But I think we are not professional. Our players in the academy are not professional. They are paying a month fee for training in our team, and it's stupid to not allow the players to improve. And if there's another team, but if you are moving to Barcelona, it's the best team in Spain, and the structure is completely professional. Also the academy or the B team, we need to accept it. It's frustrating, of course, as a coach and as a coordinator, because I am the coordinator and the sportive coordinator in my club, and I lost a lot of players. But if they want to move, we need to accept it.
So you said that your club, the kids needs to pay to play. There's a fee. Yeah. When they go to Barcelona, to their program, La Masia, do they have to pay?
No,
not at all.
So the high level, Andrew is smiling. It's that because it's another question that I'm comparing here.
Yeah.
When they go to the high level, they don't pay. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's a resource thing in the end, right? They have more resources than you. Yeah. Of course, they get it from the soccer.
You're investing.
They have more resources than you. Maybe Mataró, there's the chance that a few players don't pay. You know, special cases that very talented players, you can afford that, but you cannot afford that if you have 12 players on a team, which is the regular, right? The regular number of players in a futsal team, that the 12 don't pay. Maybe you can afford 1 or 2, but of course not 12. That's the reality.
In our club, we have 400 players right now. And I think we have 20 that have a full
scholarship.
Full non-paying because of different situations. There's no just for talent, because they don't have money or problems with jobs or wherever. But we need to do it because we are a non-profit club, and for that reason, we need to try to help all the kids to play futsal.
Nice. Now let's pivot, Andrea. Can I?
Yeah, for sure. So, but I do just have to say, we got 15 minutes left. So.
Hey, come on. And that. So let's go, guys. How do you think coaches' education, how important this is in terms of futsal? You mentioned that you went to Argentina to deliver some courses there, and I don't know why, but maybe because of that, maybe because of more courses, Argentina won the last World Cup. I don't know, but there's a relationship between you study, you succeed. So more courses, more information, more coaches education, we push the futsal, we push the sports up because we have better coaches, we'll provide better players. I think that's the sequence. How do you think about that? Or how's your thinking about that?
Well, from a point of view and my experience, of course, one of the key elements is the educational program. And in this case, Argentina, all the coaches are fanatics, and they need more information, more lecture, more conference, more documents, more whatever, because over there in Argentina, there's no official educational programs. They are looking in Spain, a lot of coaches, and they want more and more. Like we want more. But here in Spain, we have a strong educational programs and a lot of conference, a lot of people doing excellent job in this educational program, because as a coach, we need to learn every day, and if not, you are dead. And for that reason, it doesn't matter from where we are, but you need to try to obtain more information from all the coaches, from the bad and from the good ones, because you can learn at any moment. At least and I have a big example because I stayed in thousands of conferences and lectures, and maybe in one of 60 minutes, with just 1 minute or one sentence that the tutor said, I said, hey, whoa, and that works. I like it. I could add it to my model, and I think it works and improve my knowledge, and just while using or listening 1 minute. And maybe the last 59 are boring, but it doesn't matter. It deserves that time.
Yeah, coaching education is key, and I think what Sal says is really true. That I would say there's 2 points. There's the point of the coach himself, that always must have this desire to keep learning and to keep improving, because there's always space for that. But also you need this educational program or method or people or guy or a coach of coaches or something that you can receive, from that the education, the learning, right? So there's the part of wanting to improve. There's also the need to have something to receive. And I think actually here in Spain we need to improve a lot, because it's true that there's, I would say, more resources than anywhere else in the world, or the top countries in futsal resources, definitely. But for example, the official ones, the ones you get from the federation, that should be the best ones. They are not good enough. We've got there are 3 levels now. Sabas has level 3. I have the second one, and I definitely, being very honest, I've learned much more. I'd say the 90% or more of my futsal knowledge goes from outside of these courses. And that's bad. That's bad, right? That doesn't sound right. So coaching education is definitely key. 95, even more. Coaching education is key, and it's something to really work on.
So licenses are very important, and I'm using Canada as an example. License system is very important. I agree with that, but there's other ways to learn the sports other than the license system. So we have Congress, we have some conferences, we have lots of courses. We are in COVID right now, but if forget COVID a little bit, for every weekend, if you are living in São Paulo, every weekend you can find any futsal or soccer course related that someone is hosting at some university, or some coach is running one course, so you can learn every time you want. You can register yourself, go there, sit down, listen to that speech, talk, interact, and make connections. So that's the way we make the sport grow, in my opinion. Like courses, licenses, conferences, congress, and everybody talking about the sport. That's why I like this show, because I have my chance to talk about futsal more
Yeah,
then
definitely.
you should have
Let,
to
let me
enforce.
let me let me add something on that. I mean, this is what I think I said before, that there's the part of the coach that wants to keep learning. So of course, if you want to keep learning, you will enter these courses, these seminars, these lectures, these methods, these podcasts that we're doing, whatever. But if you are not, if you need that push, something, you need then the license is the thing that you must learn, you must do in order to coach kids. If the official licenses are not good, the coaches that are not that self-sufficient to keep learning won't have that top level. So you must increase the minimum level on these licenses in order to keep improving the coaching educational level on all the base. I mean, not on us that we are freaks, and we of course will keep learning, but there's also many more coaches, and not all of them are that freak, and they also must have this minimum level to coach kids and to promote talent, because there are many kids, and not all the kids can be taught or can be coached by futsal freaks, right? In some sense. I know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that 100% makes sense. But so actually that leads me into the next question. So why, and now I'm going to talk about your academy. So why did you guys start Pro 5 Academy? Like, is that because you saw a need with coaches education?
That's it.
Yeah.
From the last 10 years, I've been trying to understand why there is no educational program that show the futsal coach how to teach intelligent players. And intelligent players, I'm talking about players that understand the game.
Okay.
Our game is a complex sport, very complex sport. And if the coach doesn't understand the game, it's impossible that the player understand the game. Impossible. And I live it in my own way, because I had a lot of coaches when I was player, and the coach doesn't understand the game. And for me, it's a problem, because I couldn't understand the game.
Yeah.
And it's a
enough.
process. It's a natural process, but we need a guidance process, and as a coach we need some guide that show us how to coach. And because if not, we are doing a lot of mistakes, and I did it. That's the reason, because I tried to change that. For that reason we create Pro 5 Academy, not just for the futsal courses, because we have different products and services like residencies for players, coaches, teams here in Spain. But due to the COVID, we try to create the online futsal coaches, trying to show how to learn our sport in a progressive way, and just using principles. That I think here is the big mistake, that in many sports, not just in futsal, also in soccer, basketball, or other sports, that the coaches are just focusing in systems, and they are playing systems all the time, training systems. The main goal is the system. I played in 3-1, 4-0, and defense in individual one, and zonal or mix. And from my experience, it's a big mistake, because our sport has a lot of principles to work with our kids to create that intelligent player.
So,
Yeah,
so do you, sorry, go ahead, Victor.
No, I just wanted to add that it is true. I mean, if you work on that principles, then you will be able to play on all the systems, right? So I think that makes sense. If you just coach on one system, then once you want to change, or the player changes from to another system, start again, right?
Yeah, there was a conversation. It is a conversation going on in Brazil right now. There's a difference between game model and curriculum. So the curriculum is everything that you are describing. So the kids should be able to learn everything possible within the game. And then when you go to the, of course, a kids team, U10, U12, they can pick some of those principles to create that game model. But we should be giving to the kids a possibility to learn everything possible for them. So then, as you said, down the road, if one coach decides to play this way or that way, they are able to adapt because they know what to do. Is that what you're describing?
Exactly. And I have a good example. Last week, there was a football match in the TV that I was watching, and it's between Xota and Barcelona, I think so. And one player from Xota Navarra that it's called Binho. It's a Brazilian one.
Juninho?
No, Binho.
Okay.
Because there's another one that is called Juninho in the same.
I know Juninho. I worked with him when he was young in Brazil.
Binho, the commentaries, the technical commentaries once said that for me it's crazy, and I said, whoa, he said that. He said, Binho just could play in the 4-0 system, because that kind of players, if you move to the 3-1, I think he had a lot of problems. And hey, Binho is a futsal professional player. How is that possible that one player could not play in both systems? For me, it's crazy, because as a coach, I want to create players that understand the game and could play in any system, not just with me, with any coach. And because for me, a system is the result, is the end of the way. For me, and I say many times, and Victor is my assistant in my club, we never, ever in my senior team play or create tasks with 4 players. Never. Rotations, patterns, never. And Victor could say, because for me, our progressive system ends in the 3 players. We work the 1-player principle, the 2-player, and the 3 players. But we never train the 4 players, because we give to the responsibility to the players with all the tools that they have to play with knowledge, and it works. Because the players.
Sabas, this is a very good conversation. I really would like to go deep on that, but our boss,
our producer,
our boss is saying 3, 2,
2, 1. I think I've got 20 seconds left.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I have to close it out, but I did want to say that we got a special, because we've been talking with Albert. We have a discount code for the Pro 5 Online Academy programs. It's 40% off. It's Born to Play. So I will tag it somewhere, but thank you so much for coming on. And I have my little tagline that I do, because I may get cut off in a second, but it's, this show can also be heard on the Barn Burner Radio Network on its 122 platforms. Please check out barnburner.ca for all the news and programming. So thank you guys so much. So we need to do this again. We'll put on a new resolution, 2021. We'll have you guys on again.
100%. Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
All right.